Happy 2017 Premier Planet. Justin Barlow back with you inside the Premier Studio here in Woodstock, Illinois. And we want to send a big thank you out to everyone who came out to support us this last Saturday night for our first studio taping of the new year. If you weren't in attendance, here's what you missed out on. We started off the evening with Texas Pete, the veteran, taking on PPW newcomer, the life of the party, Ray Vellis. Now, Ray Vellis, he really showed some grit and a lot of determination in this first outing here in PPW. Unfortunately, things didn't go too well in his debut, and, well, let's take a look at what happened. So an unfortunate turn of events for Ray Vellis here on his first night in PPW, but we're going to see more of this kid in the near future. Following that big-time tag team match, a lot of pride on the line in this one. It was Ya Boys Iniestra and Scott Colton, who again is the winner of the 2016 Challenge Pro Cup tournament, carrying that trophy out to the ring loud and proud, taking on the Dirty Boys Club consisting of Chase Gosling, Ronnie Metro, and they were guided down to the ring by their third, Andy Anderson. Now, Iniestra and Colton, they controlled the pace in the early goings thanks to their agility and their high-flying ability, but the Dirty Boys Club, always reaching into that bag of tricks of theirs, they used a real divide and conquer strategy, taking advantage of a distracted referee wherever they could, whether it was distracting the referee from seeing the tags in and out between Colton and Iniestra, or distracting the referee so that Andy could get his nose into the match from the outside and add a little leverage to the situation. Well, finally, this match just ended up breaking down. Andy got in the ring. The referee couldn't maintain control. He had no choice but to throw the match out, and this was further emphasized when Randy Ritchie came down to ringside, said that he agreed with the referee's decision, but announced that this coming Saturday night, there's going to be a rematch. It's going to be Scott Colton and Iniestra taking on Chase Gosling and Ronnie Metro with one change. Because of his actions this last Saturday night, Andy Anderson, he's got the weekend off, and he will not be in the corner of his Dirty Boys Club compatriots to get involved this time. After that, Battle Royal. Now, if you remember in the past, when we've had the Armageddon Gauntlet, the entrants were drawn by random. Well, Randy Ritchie decided to shake things up here at PPW, and instead of doing random drawings, this time he announced we were going to have a battle royal to determine the order in which the wrestlers would enter the Armageddon Gauntlet, and the order would be based on the order that they were eliminated from this battle royal. So the first one out, unfortunately, the big 280-pound Texan, the corn-fed Colossus, Michael Mack. And he was followed by Irish Andy Anderson. So these two guys definitely low men on the totem pole going into the gauntlet. They were then followed, big surprise, by the former two-time PPW World Heavyweight Champion, the returning Persian powerhouse, Milad Akbar. Following him, Texas Pete went out, and then to almost everyone's surprise, the champ, the world exclusive Matt Vine, was eliminated fairly early on in this battle royal. So it could have been much worse, but Vine then went into the Armageddon Gauntlet, not with a good spot. He was going to have to go a long way to retain that title. Following Matt Vine was Ronnie Metro, followed by Iniestra, and it came down to Scott Colton and Chase Gosling, and unfortunately for Colton, Chase was able to toss him over the top rope, and Chase Gosling earned his spot as the last man into the Armageddon Gauntlet. And then we got to the big match, PPW's signature match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was the return of the Armageddon Gauntlet. Now, if you've never seen one of these matches, here's how it works. It is a gauntlet-style match where two men start. When one man is eliminated via pinfall, submission, countout, what have you, the next in line comes in and takes his place, and it continues until there's only one man standing. But here in PPW, there's a little bit of a twist, because when you're eliminated, you don't go to the back. In fact, all the wrestlers start out at ringside as lumberjacks, and if you get eliminated, you stay on the outside acting as a lumberjack. So there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide for anybody. And nobody was gonna run and hide, especially with the implications of this matchup, that being the World Heavyweight Championship and a level playing field for everybody. Now, having been the first two eliminated from the Battle Royal, the Armageddon Gauntlet was started by Michael Mack and Andy Anderson. And after what one could only describe as a brawl, Michael Mack was able to eliminate Andy Anderson. But then Michael Mack, unfortunately, had the task of competing with Malad Akbar, who again is a former two-time PPW World Heavyweight Champion, has already survived 2 Armageddon Gauntlets in his own right, and is one of the 6 individuals sent down by PPW to NXT for an official WWE tryout in the last 5 years. So with a fresher, more focused Malad Akbar, he was able to get Michael Mack outside the ring, where unfortunately for Mack, it was the wrong part of the woods. He was on the outside with the likes of Chase Gosling, Ronnie Metro, Andy Anderson, Texas Pete, and they made sure that Mack was not going to get back into this matchup, and Malad Akbar wins the second round via countout. Now, taking Michael Mack's place was Texas Pete. Now, Texas Pete, he knew going into this one, he wasn't going to be able to outpower Malad. He wasn't going to be able to outmaneuver him. So he started playing those mind games, trying to get into Malad's head. And for a couple instances, it seemed like he was working as he got the advantage. But Malad Akbar, he came back with a fury, but to utter shock and amazement, Texas Pete pulls one off on the former champ and gets a pinfall to eliminate Akbar from the Armageddon Gauntlet. But as the old saying goes, there's no rest for the wicked, because after that, Texas Pete had to compete with the man with everything to lose in this gauntlet, that being the world exclusive, the PPW World Heavyweight Champion, Matt Vine. And Vine, well, pretty quickly eliminated Pete out of the picture, and he moved on to the next entrant, who was Ronnie Metro. And these two guys duked it out for a good long while until Vine was able to finally subdue Ronnie and get a pinfall over him. And in comes Iniestra, the high flyer, a little bit more fresh than the other guys, having competed a little bit earlier in the evening. Iniestra was off the wall. He loves to use that high flying style that the fans just love to see here in the Premier Studio. He gave Vine a run for his money, but Iniestra was put away by the champ, 1, 2, 3, and Vine then moved on to another high flyer and another former PPW World Heavyweight Champion in the human video game, Scott Colton, who again won the 2016 Challenge Pro World Cup. So he was on cloud 9 going into this match, especially having outlasted so many other guys in the Battle Royal and having a very high number in the draw going into the Armageddon Gauntlet. But Matt Vine, he was able to put Colton down for another pinfall, and we get to the final round. And if you remember, because Chase Gosling won the Battle Royal, he earned the right to be the last man into the gauntlet, making him the most fresh. And Vine had already competed 4 to 5 times, essentially having 4 to 5 matches before getting into the ring with Chase. And Chase, he took full advantage, starts wailing on the champ, but every time he tried to go in for a pinfall, Vine would kick out with about that much space between the ref's hand and the canvas, going down for the 3 count. The ending to this match, well, it was a little awkward because Vine is able to get Chase up, down, and it seemed like maybe, perhaps, Chase had pinned the champ, but no. Vine's shoulder got up right before the 3 count, and Chase's shoulders, both of them, were down on the mat. Therefore, Matt Vine gets a pin on Chase Gosling and walks away from the Armageddon Gauntlet, still your PPW World Heavyweight Champion. So Vine, all the props in the world to you, man. That was one hell of a performance, and a hell of a performance by everyone in the Gauntlet this last Saturday night. Don't forget, Premier Planet, this coming Saturday, we have a world title match. If the challenge was issued after the Armageddon Gauntlet by Chase Gosling, who felt robbed, and he wants Vine in a title match this coming Saturday night here in the Premier Studio, Vine agreed, and it's been set. Also, tag team rematch. We are going to have the Dirty Boys Club, Chase Gosling and Ronnie Metro taking on Scott Colton and Iniestra. This time, Andy Anderson has the night off. We will see you folks out here at 1230 Davis Road in Woodstock. Once again, my name is Justin Barlow. Thanks as always for your support of PPW.